Welcome to my bold and beautiful today's show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. Hope and Wyatt come together in mourning Liam tragedy reunites exes. The bold and the beautiful hint that Hope Logan and Wyatt Spencer could join together in mourning. Will the latest Liam Spencer tragedy reunite these exes? Liam doesn't want anyone else to know about the inoperable mass on his brain, but the news will inevitably escape anyway. It may not be long until Hope discovers what Liam's up against, so that could present a difficult decision. Steffi Forrester has been willing to keep Liam's secret so far, but what if Hope goes against Liam's wishes for his own good? It'd be intriguing if Hope decided to tell Liam's family, including Wyatt. Hope might get Wyatt on the phone and persuade him to come be there for his brother. Wyatt clearly needs to be around for this storyline, so Hope could be the one to set his return in motion. Of course, there's no confirmation yet on whether Liam will truly face a fatal outcome. Liam's doctors aren't offering any hope at the present, but there's a chance he'll get a miracle or some type of experimental trial that saves the day. However, it's also conceivable B intends to do a real story of grief this time around. They might abandon the fake-outs for once and deliver an emotional exit for Liam as he succumbs to his brain tumor. If Liam doesn't survive, where does that leave Hope romantically? The show's been playing up these Hope and Liam reunion hints, but Hope may ultimately recognize she won't get a happy ending with her former flame. Maybe Hope could reconcile with a different ex instead, namely Wyatt. It'd be simple for Wyatt and Hope to lean on each other as they mourn the loss of Liam down the road. Whatever the case, Liam's attempting to make optimistic predictions about sticking around for Kelly Spencer and Beth Spencer, but that doesn't necessarily mean he'll be able to overcome his medical woes. Hope and Wyatt might find themselves looking for comfort if Liam truly passes away, so something positive could still come out of the loss. It just might be what draws Wyatt and Hope back together in the end. The bold and the beautiful say some Hope and Wyatt will eventually get updates on some Liam-related shockers. Scott Clifton reveals Liam's fate, gets honest about brain tumor story. The bold and the beautiful indicate that Scott Clifton is speaking out about the reveal of Liam's fate. In an interview with SOD, the B&B star went honest about Liam's brain tumor story and what the future holds. For starters, Scott Clifton admitted he received a warning about Liam going on the back burner several months ago. Bradley Bell, who serves as the show's executive producer and chief writer, reached out and let Clifton know that Liam wouldn't be driving storylines for a while. Clifton was pleased to get the heads up and understood why it was necessary to take a break from all Liam's waffling. Of course, that meant Clifton didn't have many scenes for a while, so he was surprised when B&B abruptly sent a new script featuring all the Liam and Bill Spencer conflict. After Scott Clifton eventually filmed again and set up Liam's head injury twist, he got called to Bell's office. That's when Bell offered updates on this storyline involving the inoperable mass on Liam's brain. Clifton was immediately excited over the opportunity to dive into something so meaty. "And I'm really grateful to Brad for having enough faith in me to pull this off," Clifton said. Naturally, everyone is pondering one thing when it comes to this brain tumor story. Will Liam get a soapy miracle or face a fatal exit? It turns out Clifton doesn't know precisely where all this is headed, so he wanted viewers to know he's taking this ride with them. To the fans, I would say, "Hey, man, we're on this trip together. I'm right there with you," Clifton said. Clifton couldn't make predictions about where the story will wind up, so he's just savoring the opportunity to play this journey for Liam wherever it might lead. No matter how it all goes down, Clifton insisted this storyline is being told with such thoughtfulness and delicacy and generosity and love. In other words, it sounds like Liam's fate will be heartfelt and meaningful regardless of whether he survives or dies. The bold and the beautiful say Liam has some tough times ahead of him, so stay tuned for any other significant medical news. Scott Clifton discusses Liam's destiny on The Bold and the Beautiful. Liam's brain tumor on The Bold and the Beautiful. On The Bold and the Beautiful today, Steffi told Liam that he had a mass on his brain, and that it was inoperable. In an interview, Scott Clifton told Soap Opera Digest, "We do, like, a boot camp Hell Week version of the stages of grief. Liam just sort of runs through them all in a matter of several scenes, but I believe there are a couple of different flavors for Liam." While Liam tries to digest the news, Clifton says his character is in denial. He added, Steffi and Finn are trying to get him to wrap his head around this, and he's not getting it. Like, he's really not getting it, and that was really fun to play. Clifton shared that as Liam acknowledges his fate, he experiences a range of emotions. You'll see a little bit of, I don't know if it's anger, but he starts to get a little sharp, you know? And it was fun to kind of go through these different methods of coping, but in a really concentrated, short amount of time. Clifton called playing out Liam's processing of his prognosis as a roller coaster, and claimed to have had joy acting it out. And yes, eventually he does accept it, and what his attitude is when he accepts it is interesting, and that kind of sets the stage for the rest of story, Clifton explained. Will Liam perish on the bold and the beautiful? As was Liam's initial reaction, Clifton confirms Liam is praying for a miracle cure to his situation. As the story plays out, he is grappling between the physical toll the tumor takes on his body, versus his will to survive. Through it, Liam seeks support from Finn, Tanner Novlan. Finn kind of becomes a really good friend to Liam, which I think is kind of cool, given their history. And there are instances where Liam consults with him and says, do we know anything else? Is there any chance? Clifton previewed. While he confirmed that part of Liam is optimistic for that miracle, he hears what is being told by the medical professionals. The other half of Liam's brain is going, okay, I have to assume that there's no hope here. That's the most pragmatic thing to do. Kelly is Liam's sister. The timing would truly be very wild for the truth to come out right now, right? The bold and the beautiful spoilers heavily predict that the truth about Kelly's true paternity might come out the moment that everyone finds out Liam Spencer is dying. Keep reading below for everything you need to know. The bold and the beautiful spoilers, Kelly is Liam's sister. As many B&B fans can recall, Steffi had cheated on her spouse Liam with his own father, Bill Spencer. She then shortly got pregnant, but nobody knew who the father of her child was. A paternity test showed Liam to be the real father, but because his DNA is so close to Bill Spencer's, there's still the possibility that the dollar bill could easily be Kelly's real dad as well. Steffi thought that she could get away with hiding the truth for this long, but it's destined to come out sooner than she expected. As our loyal readers can imagine, the internet surely did have a lot to say about the matter. One B&B fan wrote, regardless if Kelly is his daughter or sister, I don't know if I want to watch the storyline play out if they actually are going to kill him off. It does make me melancholy. Liam has been a good character for many years, and I believe the show will be less without him. The bold and the beautiful, what's next for Steffi Forrester? And then there was this comment as well, Bill has had Liam, then Wyatt, then will come into his life, and it hasn't made him a better person. Bill has also shown that he no longer cares about the mother of his grandchild, or his grandchild for that matter, when he pulled strings and had her kidnapper and attempted killer released. For those reasons, Kelly remains Liam's. Besides, Finn has been a wonderful dad to Kelly. In a storyline fraught with heartache, concealed truths, and bittersweet potential, The Bold and the Beautiful now sets the stage for an emotional upheaval of seismic proportions, one that could unite estranged hearts while concurrently devastating fans with the looming possibility of loss. Central to this tale is the tragic revelation that Liam Spencer is suffering from an inoperable brain tumor, a cruel twist of fate that drives the character and those who love him into the deep end of emotional reckoning. As this storyline unfolds, it's not just about Liam's impending fate, but about what that fate sets in motion. The possibility of Hope Logan and Wyatt Spencer finding their way back to each other amidst the tempest. For years, the fabric of B&B has been woven with the entangled lives of the Spencer siblings and the women they've loved. Hope and Wyatt, though once profoundly connected, had long drifted apart, lost to time, circumstance, and the emotional whirlwinds stirred by Liam's endless waffling. Yet in the face of death, time slows, and perspectives transform. As Liam clings to the optimism of living long enough to witness his daughters, Kelly and Beth, grow up, the viewers and his loved ones begin preparing for a different outcome. Steffi Forrester, ever loyal and divided, has kept Liam's secret, but Hope's discovery of the truth could be the turning point. Unable to bear the weight alone, she may break her vow to Liam and reach out to his family, particularly Wyatt, who has been noticeably absent during these critical times. That single decision. Hope picking up the phone to contact Wyatt could ripple into a narrative of emotional resurrection, where grief becomes the unexpected vehicle for healing and reconnect Ion. The chemistry between Hope and Wyatt, once a gentle, promising fire, was never truly extinguished. Rather, it lay latent beneath the ashes of a love lost too soon. If the writers choose to investigate this path, the emotional foundation has already been subtly set. Hope, distraught from the news of Liam's diagnosis and impending mortality, may find solace in the familiarity of Wyatt's embrace. Wyatt, in turn, who has often lived in Liam's shadow, could find his own redemption not through rivalry, but through compassion and shared mourning. Their mutual devastation could bring them back into alignment not as the people they once were, but as those they've grown into after years of sorrow and lessons learned. The impending doom encircling Liam's condition, while painful, may be the catalyst for unexpected beauty to bloom in its wake. And yet, there remains an air of uncertainty. Actor Scott Clifton, who portrays Liam, has been refreshingly transparent in interviews, acknowledging that he doesn't know where the story is headed. He speaks of the process with reverence, appreciating the opportunity to portray such a profound and layered voyage. His words suggest that, whether Liam survives or not, the story is being told with empathy and grace. This uncertainty keeps fans on the brink, emotionally invested and bracing themselves for every twist. If Liam does survive, it opens doors to other dynamics, perhaps a deeper bond with Finn, who has begun to act not just as Steffi's spouse but as Liam's unexpected confidant and medical sounding board. But if the story does take the tragic route of Liam's death, it's hard to envision a scenario in which the reverberations don't shake the core of every character tied to him, particularly Hope and Wyatt. As Hope wrestles with the reality that she might not get an eternally with Liam, she must begin to confront her own future without him. The moments they've shared, fleeting reconciliations, moments of joy with Beth, the dreams of building something enduring, all begin to dissolve under the weight of time and terminal diagnosis. Enter Wyatt, the man who once offered her a different kind of love, one grounded in ease, respect, and hilarity. A love that, unlike her tempestuous connection with Liam, felt like serenity after the storm. The concept of Wyatt returning to Los Angeles, summoned by Hope's call and driven by brotherly duty, is rich with narrative potential. Not only would his return allow for emotionally resonant scenes between the Spencer siblings, but it would also offer Wyatt a front-row seat to Hope's unraveling and her slow, painful journey toward acceptance. But tragedy in soap operas is never one-dimensional, and B&B proves no exception. As Liam's diagnosis takes center stage, another bombshell begins to percolate beneath the surface, the possibility that Kelly, long believed to be Liam's daughter, may actually be his sister. The specter of Steffi's one-night stand with Bill Spencer, Liam's father, returns to haunt the canvas at the worst possible moment. If it comes out that the DNA test was skewed due to the genetic similarity between Liam and Bill, the fallout would be devastating. Liam would be forced to confront not just the end of his life, but a massive shift in his understanding of it, rethinking his entire relationship with the little girl he's raised, protected, and cherished. For Steffi, the guilt of having potentially robbed both Liam and Bill of the truth for so long could eat away at her, just as she attempts to keep herself strong for Liam's sake. And for Bill, who has already shown a staggering disregard for family loyalty in the past, the revelation may serve as yet another fracture in his already splintered legacy. The Kelly revelation, timed with Liam's declining health, becomes more than a mere plot twist. It becomes a mirror reflecting the show's themes of identity, betrayal, and the fragility of love. It adds yet another layer of urgency to the story. How much truth can be disclosed before it becomes unbearable? Can Hope, already emotionally frayed, withstand another strike to the foundation of her family? And will Wyatt, returning amidst such chaos, find himself caught between supporting his brother and assisting Hope rebuild the life she never expected to lose? Through all this, the writers have delicately balanced a sense of finality with the possibility of rebirth. If Liam's journey truly is nearing its conclusion, then the bold and the beautiful is preparing to give him a send-off worthy of the years he's spent at the show's center. Clifton's portrayal of Liam's unraveling psyche, fluctuating between denial, fury, hope, and quiet resignation, has grounded the character in a brutal realism rarely seen in daytime dramas. It's this authenticity that makes the storyline all the more compelling. If he survives, it will be through miracle or medical innovation. If he dies, he will do so having made peace with his past, surrounded by affection, and leaving behind a legacy carried on by those who once fought over him but now unite in his name. Hope and Wyatt's potential reunion, born not of rekindled passion but of shared grief and emotional survival, stands as a poetic echo of what B&B does best, telling stories of brokenness and beauty, of love discovered in the ashes of tragedy. Their reconnection could represent the cyclical nature of life and love in the soap opera universe, how every ending births a new beginning, and how even shattered hearts can find a cadence again. As Hope peers toward a future that now feels cruelly altered, Wyatt may be the only person who truly understands the depth of her loss. Together, they could create a new kind of family, one not born from fantasy or romantic idealism, but from shared pain, mutual respect, and the quiet, enduring hope that life does go on. Whether Liam ultimately lives or dies, whether Kelly turns out to be a daughter or a sister, one truth remains steadfast: no one moves away from this storyline unchanged. The show is entering territory that could redefine character dynamics for years to come. And if The Bold and the Beautiful has taught us anything, it's that in every shattered illusion, there's always a spark poised to ignite. Perhaps that flame is Hope and Wyatt. Perhaps it's a newly honest Bill or a Steffi reckoning with her past. Perhaps it's Liam himself, holding on for just a little longer, not for himself, but for the people he's loved. No matter where this path leads, it's evident that the show is not just delivering drama, but crafting a legacy moment. One that, whether through tears of sorrow or hope, will leave an indelible mark on viewers and characters alike. Hope and Wyatt come together in mourning. Liam tragedy reunites exes? In the tapestry of heartbreak, lost love, and agonizing secrets that is The Bold and the Beautiful, one storyline now emerges with the emotional heft to potentially reshape everything: the quiet tempest brewing in Liam Spencer's life. An inoperable brain mass, his silent torment has become the shadow hanging over everyone he loves, whether they know it yet or not. And now, whispers of that calamity are on the verge of spilling into the lives of those Liam never meant to burden. Among them, Hope Logan and Wyatt Spencer, two individuals bound not just by shared history, but by the man at the center of this unraveling tragedy. And as the winds of sorrow begin to blow, B&B suggests that Hope and Wyatt, former lovers with unfinished emotional business, may find themselves drawn together once again, not by romance initially, but by grief, by desperation, and by the agonizing uncertainty of a future without Liam. In mourning, might they rediscover something deeper than loss? Liam Spencer has never been a man to go quietly into the night. His existence has been loud in love, in conflict, in conviction. But now, the same man who once oscillated between Hope and Steffi with a maddening cadence has chosen silence. Diagnosed with an inoperable mass on his brain, he's holding his own death sentence in his hands and refusing to let anyone else bear the weight. Only Steffi knows, and even she is barely holding it together, plagued by the burden of keeping his secret. But secrets on The Bold and the Beautiful are living entities. They grow, they stretch, and eventually, they explode. And if Steffi's resolve cracks or Liam's condition worsens before he's ready to speak, that truth could come out in the worst manner possible, catching everyone off guard, shattering illusions of safety, and hurling Hope and Wyatt back into each other's orbits like fate's cruel joke. Hope, for her part, is a woman in turmoil. Though her heart has drifted from Liam in recent months, drawn by the fire of self-discovery and the ashes of her failed connection with Thomas, the news of Liam's condition will cut her to the core. Because regardless of love lost or relationships reshaped, Liam is the father of her daughter. He is her once upon a time, her safe space, the man who, for better or worse, carved his initials into the trunk of her existence. And when she hears, whether from Steffi in a tearful collapse or from Liam himself in a moment of weakness, that his time may be limited, she won't sit idly by. Hope Logan has always been a woman of action, and in this instance, the action she takes could set off a chain reaction that reverberates across the canvas of the show. Because when Hope learns of Liam's condition, her instinct may not be to safeguard his secret, but to rally his family even if he's begged her not to. And that's where Wyatt Spencer comes in. Wyatt and Liam have always shared a complicated brotherhood. Their alliance, forged in late discovery and early rivalry, was tested time and again by shared love interests and diverging ideals. Yet at the end of the day, they were brothers in name, in spirit, and in the quiet comprehension that family, however fractured, must stand united in crisis. If Hope does reach out to Wyatt, It won't just be an informational call. It will be a plea raw, urgent, and fraught with the kind of emotional vulnerability that rekindles buried emotions. Not romantic, not at first. But the connection they once had, one of laughter, lightness, and profound emotional resonance, never truly died. It merely went dormant. And in the grief-soaked landscape of Liam's looming mortality, that connection may stir again. Picture the moment. Wyatt, on the other end of the phone, greeting a call from Hope with the easy familiarity of old lovers who parted with regret, not resentment. Her voice, trembling with barely restrained tears, tells him that Liam is ill, truly, terrifyingly sick. Inoperable. Terminal. And Wyatt, knocked breathless by the revelation, may abandon everything to rush back to Los Angeles. Gone is the confident, carefree charmer. What returns is a man contending with mortality, with brotherhood, and with the ghost of a relationship that once felt like home. And when he and Hope meet face to face again, it will be with the weight of history pressing between them and the catastrophic realization that the one person who always brought them together may soon be gone forever.